What's good in the hood, YouTube? This is Crazy Samurai 71 here, bringing you another video. Today I'm bringing a video on Power Rangers Ninja Steel episode 19. This is the second to last episode of the season, not including the holiday special, which isn't considered necessarily main story, but is a nice extra detail that kind of this time around will be, but it's up to you if you choose to watch it. I'm not sure if I'm going to watch it myself. I might. I don't know, because usually they're not that big a deal. I know what it is. I know it's supposed to be kind of big, but I'm not sure yet. We'll see. I don't want to say anything yet. So, as far as things go, episode 19 is called Helping Hand. It's actually a really good episode. It leads into the finale, which is great. And it's not obvious that it leads into the finale until like the last 3 minutes of the episode, basically. Because I was like, wait, where is this part where it's supposed to like connect to the finale? And then it's like, oh, it's because it's the very, very like bitter end of the episode. So anyway, let's get started here. The episode, again, Helping Hand. And what happens is that the episode starts off with Preston and Sarah going on Sarah's hoverboard. And the hoverboard crashes and falls when they're traveling on it. Thing is that Sarah needs to get a new battery put in so that it will last longer. And the thing is that Preston mentions the idea that, hey, aren't you looking for a new science project for the extra credit assignment that Mick made or whatever? And he says, why don't you use the battery as a way to make that assignment work? So that's what she thinks to do. And we end up seeing her in her house working on the battery. In the meantime, we actually get to see Sarah's mother, which is really unusual because you almost never see the parents of the Rangers. I mean, it's so uncommon to see the Rangers' parents ever. And usually we get like at least one of the Rangers' parents for most seasons that appears, not always, but sometimes. So that's great to actually see one of the Ninja Steel kids' parents show up. I mean, obviously we know that Brody and Levi's father is going to show up, but aside from that, as far as like no one as far as ones that aren't connected to the Rangers themselves, and by that I mean like they aren't Rangers or they aren't associated in the same way, this is great to see. So anyway, she also likes technology. She makes her own kind of stuff. Like she made this device that allows it to be a voice commanded device that you can say, I want toast or I want juice, and like suddenly there'll be an arm that will come across and you can drink from the juice box and eat from the sandwich or bread or whatever it is. So her mom wants to help her out with the project, but at the same time she's like, oh, I'll deal with it, it's alright. But then what happens is that she doesn't have enough time, and when Sarah's mom puts on the helmet thing on Sarah ends up referring to things regarding like toast and juice, like her machine is toast and it doesn't have enough juice in it or something like that. And then in both cases she gets hit by the device, like the toast has jam on it, so it covers her in jam, and the juice just sprays on her. And so then she has to go to her class, and when she goes to her auto class, we end up seeing Victor and Monty presenting their projects. Victor and Monty actually has this magnet that has really strong strength that can detect and also attract anything that's magnetic of any strength, basically. So at first they end up saying, okay, we'll try this out with a hubcap, and they do that. And it works perfectly fine. But then they press it again, and this time it grabs all the stuff off of the junkyard shelf where Mick works and everything, and suddenly they're buried in it. So then at that point, Mick asked if anyone else has a project that's extra credit, and he asked, what about you, Sarah? And what happens is that she doesn't. But then her mom appears, because the thing is that her mother actually decided to work on the battery and also a charger, which the battery is Sarah's design. The charger is her mother's design, and the thing is that this charger can have an output of 10 times the original output of the battery, meaning that it can supercharge it. So when she uses it and when she has it all charged up, Sarah's mom tries to get on the board, And this time what happens is that when the board activates, it ends up flying all over the place. Sarah's mom falls off of it, and the board smashes and, goes into smoke. So then at that point what happens is that we end up seeing Force Fear, the monster for the episode. And Force Fear shows off his Force Field abilities against Cosmo and some Basherbots, which his Force Field abilities are incredibly strong. So then, following all this, the Rangers have a distress call when they're in the base, while they're trying to work on fixing Sarah's board or whatever, and it turns out that it's Force Fear. So then the Rangers go down to fight him. They transform, and Brody uses the Lion Fire armor, which is good. Lion Fire mode, which we haven't seen since episode 15, so that was really great to see that return. So the Rangers use that, and in the meantime, Brody, Preston, and Levi fight Force Fear while the others fight the Basherbots. Brody and Preston do some team attacks, and then when Brody tries to use the rapid fire ninja star attack, it doesn't work out very well. He even tries to throw Preston and Levi, which still doesn't work because of the force field. Then what happens is that the others appear, and Force Fear tries to do an attack against them all, which they end up teleporting away, or just using a smoke cloud to temporarily disappear, and they go a short distance away to listen in, because suddenly Madame Odious appears, which is great. And she ends up talking to Force Fear about how he failed and everything, but he said, if you gigantify me, then I can create a gigantic force field, which would prevent the Rangers from coming anywhere near me at all, and it could be really devastating. So they're concerned, obviously, the Rangers. What are they going to do? How are they going to deal with this? And so they end up going back to the base, trying to figure out what they can do, and suddenly the Ninja Nexus Prism shows them a vision of something new, and this is regarding the 3 Megazords that they have, and then some shadowed image of something coming in the future, which basically gave them the clue as to using all 3 Megazords, the Lion Fire Megazord, the Ninja Steel Megazord, and the Bull Rider Megazord. You can combine them together to create the Ninja Ultra Zord. So at that point they need to create a new Ninja Power Star for that, and they end up working on it, specifically Redbot, and when he's done making it, he ends up trying to throw it in the Ninja Nexus Prism, but it doesn't work. So then at that point, Sarah ends up asking Redbot, did you do this? Did you shape it a certain way? Did you make it look a certain way? Is it correctly formatted? Are all these things done? And he says, yes, I did all these things. And at that point, she ends up saying, I'm sorry, Redbot, I just want to make sure and everything. And Redbot says, it's all right. But then she realizes that she did the exact same thing to her mother. She criticized her mother's efforts and treated her terribly, but in Redbot's case, he was willing to say sorry, while in Sarah's case, she just dismissed her. She just dismissed her own mother, and it really made Sarah realize how badly she treated her mother. So then at that point, what happens is that she then realizes, wait, my mother created that charger. Maybe it might not have worked on my hoverboard, but maybe that charger can supercharge the Ninja Power Star. the Ninja Star or whatever. And so they end up supercharging it. And when it's done charging, they then throw it into the Ninja Nexus Prism, which it takes a while to charge up. So then Force Fear gets gigantified, and then the Rangers decide to summon the Megazord. So Brody goes out with the Lion Fire mode and summons the Lion Fire Megazord. But then the other Rangers summon their Megazord, so the Ninja Steel Megazord and also the Bull Rider Megazord are summoned. Then at that point, they end up trying to hold off Force Fear, which doesn't last long because following that, the Ninja Nexus Prism finally throws out the Ninja Ultra Star, and then Mick goes out to throw it off to Brody. When Brody gets it, they then end up combining the three Megazords into the Ninja Ultra Zord, which is the combination of all three of them, which actually leads to the Bull Rider Megazord basically uses a backpack with the arms being used as cannons, and the Ninja Steel Megazord actually sits in the Lion Fire Megazord if you're curious as to how it works, if you didn't see the episode. But yeah, that's basically what happens there. So they end up using that whole combination. Brody even launches himself out of the Megazord to do a move that removes Force Fear's weapons, and then following that he returns to the top of the Ninja Ultrazord, and then all 6 Rangers do the charge up for their finishing move, which they do that, and it takes out Force Fear without any issues. Then back, then what I forgot to also mention was that they had very limited Ninja Steel, because you have to remember something. They've been using it up, making several different stars over time, and at this point they need to look for new Ninja Steel. At the same time, if they don't find anything, they're going to have to take stars that they already have and melt them down into Ninja Steel again so that they can make new Ninja Stars. So that's a big deal. So the thing is that they actually were searching for more Ninja Steel, doing multiple scans at once, and at one point they actually did end up finding a scan that proved fruitful. But we'll get into that after this. After they finish fighting Force Fear, we end up seeing Sarah back at her home. Sarah talks to her mom about, like, maybe she could help out with fixing her board, and her mom's like, are you sure you want to trust me after what happened before with your hoverboard? And Sarah's like, I'm really sorry. I learned that I said the wrong thing to you, and I want to make it up to you, Mom. And so they end up forgiving and forgetting about the past. And then we end up seeing that Victor and Monty are upset because they never managed to get gold or anything really valuable in their time with their magnetic science project device. So at that point, Victor and Monty decide to set the Sang for a higher strength, something even more rare and more unusual. And what happens is that they end up using the magnet all throughout the school. And what happens is that suddenly we end up seeing Mick and Redbot in the base, and Mick ends up finding on the scanner a more Ninja Steel from an asteroid, and then he ends up contacting the Rangers about it. But then suddenly that magnet that Victor and Monty were using picks up the attraction of a new substance. What is that substance? Well, Mick is holding the Astro Ninja Steel's Zord Star, and it gets suddenly pulled out of the base, and Victor gets it. Then he uses the magnet again, and all the Ninja Stars that are on the table where the base is get dragged over and clamp onto the magnet. The only things that aren't there are the Rangers' own power stars. So then, at that point, they're like, what are all these different things? And suddenly, Madame Odious, Galvanox, and the Basherbots appear. And they look at the magnet, notice all the Ninja Stars, but they notice that there's none of the Rangers' power stars, so they realize that they're not in the best position that they need to be. So then at that point what happens is that they end up collecting those stars, and then they decide to hold on to that magnet, and also decide to capture with them Victor and Monty and bring them back to the Warrior Dome. So then at that point what happens is that there's even a fourth wall break at the end where Galvanox says, this will be a season finale to remember, or something like that. And basically that's where the episode ends, obviously on a big suspenseful conclusion, which will lead into the finale for the episode, which I cannot wait to see that, because that will be happening I think in 2 weeks now. So let us know your opinions. Were you happy to see this episode? Are you interested in the finale? Are you looking forward to Super Ninja Steel? I know Super Ninja Steel isn't going to happen till probably late January. And again, once Ninja Steel is over, we're going to have a brief hiatus for, you know, I mean, if you include the December episode, it's probably about 7 weeks, which isn't that bad. Isn't that bad in comparison to the summer hiatus, which is, several months, as opposed to, less than 2 months, roughly. So I'd love to know your opinions. Did you guys enjoy this episode? Are you looking forward to the finale? Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you guys think. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So until then, guys, I'm Crazy Samurai 71, and goodbye, guys.